Addiction is a family disease. One member of the family may be the one affected by the problem initially, but it expands to affect the whole family, and for this reason we call it a family disease. I would like in a 4-part series discuss this issue of addiction as a family disease, and through this discussion I hope to sensitize families so that they see the role, the expanded role that they need to play to help their loved one who is struggling with addiction. So in this first part, I would like to discuss why we call it a family disease. Before I go deep into this discussion, I'll request you to subscribe to my channel, Dr. BMS, Body, Mind and Soul, so that when we produce more of these informative videos, you get a notification straight away from YouTube and you get informed. We grow together in knowledge. So, addiction, a family disease. Why do we call it a family disease? The first reason why addiction is now considered as a family disease, even though just one member of the family may be the one involved in, is because usually for someone to develop an addiction, there is a level of social support which is mandatory. This social support usually comes from the family. The support also transcends the social and involves finances. It involves a moral aspect, and all of these come from families. So let me break it down a little bit further. When someone starts taking alcohol or smoking cannabis or engaging in any of these addictive behaviors, we know they do it using the family's resources. A young man in school has been given pocket money to help them with little needs in college, in school, but they divert this money to start buying cigarettes and alcohol, and soon they get addicted. So without the family giving them that support, that pocket money, that financial support, it will be difficult for them to sustain this behavior, even to initiate it. But the family does not give this money on purpose. They believe they are helping their young one, their family member, to have a comfortable stay in school and college, but this person, this young man or woman, is diverting this money to other users. Therefore, if the family at some point realize that this is what is happening and they cut back on this financial support, the young man or woman will not be able to sustain their behavior. They may seek support from their friends to buy them, to help them, but this will not last long, because you cannot keep a friendship with people when they are the ones who are providing everything you need. Soon they'll tire of you and they'll let you go. So the family is important because it gives the support most of the time unknowingly. And this support is financial, this support is moral. Let me explain the moral aspect a little bit. When someone is in addiction and sometimes they're getting in trouble in school, they're missing on assignments, or maybe they got a little trouble with the law, the family comes in to support this person, hoping that if they bail them out, this will help this person then change. This support, the financial as I mentioned, also moves to the moral aspect where someone who is in addiction feels they have the support of my family. If I get arrested, my family member will come to bail me out. If I miss an assignment, my mother will give an excuse that I was unwell, and in fact that's not true. If I miss work, my wife will call to say I'm unwell, even when that is not true. That support is a moral support where you know that you have someone watching and backing you up. And so you feel strong, you feel emboldened in a way, you feel you are not alone in this journey. And this can perpetuate this behavior for quite some time. For this reason, then, we say addiction cannot start and perpetuate itself if the family is not involved knowingly or unknowingly. And for this reason, we call it a family disease. The second reason is that we know addiction runs in families. There's a genetic link. Sometimes you find your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, aunties might have been addicted in their lifetime. And this has passed on, this characteristic has passed on through the genes into you. And so because of this genetic linkage, it makes it a family issue. So that a family that has that characteristic in their lineage will quickly know and can do something about it, so that the progeny, the offsprings that come later after that person was addicted, do not go into addiction. Therefore, then, the family has a much greater role to play in preventing or treating addiction, because it is usually in their genes in some of the cases. The third reason is that when one person gets addicted in a family, the rest of the family members feel the effects. So we say a person is drinking or smoking or snorting cocaine, but the repercussions, the ripple effect are felt by everyone else in the family. As I explained when I gave the first reason, you are the ones giving the finances, knowingly or unknowingly. You are the one giving the shoulder to lean on, the moral support, the social support, where someone feels if they got into trouble, if they needed someone to give an excuse for them, to do an errand for them, to stand in their place, there will be that family member. And so as you give this support, financial, moral, or otherwise, then you are getting affected. And for this reason, then it becomes a problem for everyone in the family, as opposed to just the person who is in addiction. Finally, addiction is a family disease because we've seen also when it comes to treatment, rehabilitation, for example, if a family comes in united, bringing one of their own who is addicted for treatment, they achieve good results compared to a family that is disjointed and pulling in different directions. This is because persons in addiction, as I said, rely heavily on the family to perpetuate this habit. Most of the time, the family does not know that they are doing this, but it is happening. And so if they are brought into addiction, it works well. Or if they are brought into addiction rehabilitation, it works well if all the families are saying, yes, you need to get treated. You need to change your ways. However, if one of the family members still thinks, no, this person should be given another chance, the other family members are being too harsh on him, or they are giving excuses like it's his life, let him do as he wishes. When there is that disunity within the family, the person in addiction will always take advantage of it, will want to polarize the family members so they don't pull in one direction, and usually that sabotages the results of the addiction rehabilitation. For this reason, then, we say we bring in someone into rehabilitation, all the family members need to come in, because you all have come for treatment, you all have got this problem called addiction, either affecting you directly as the taker or indirectly but strongly as a family member upon who person in addiction depends. Thank you. See you in the next video when we talk a little bit more about other manifestations of addiction within the family setup.